Okay, hold on.
All praise to the Most High in Christ. Teachable moment, fair use. Let's see.
Alright. Gonna backfire, is it? Come on, it's gonna backfire a little bit. What just hold it tight. Mom, turn around. When you no, got your hand by the trigger. I need to know what the fuck backfire, what that means. Why is your hand on the trigger? What backfire mean? Oh my god. No. I had. And this go back, hit you in the. Yeah. Okay, so what you so tuck it in your shoulder. Like this? No, it's not on your shoulder. Tuck it in your shoulders. No. So when so, you ready? All right, let's do it, boy. You squeezed it? You squeezed see, you didn't clock it back good enough. No, this shit clocked. No, you did not. No, you did not. I know. Only pull when you ready.
So,
okay.
We see here that the fear of guns, the fear of this tool can almost be debilitating. She laid it down very carefully. But there's several things that happen, right? The first thing, they didn't explain to her the safety, the do's and the don'ts, because a tool can help you, and you'll think the tool is your friend. But if you use it wrong, it can also hurt you. It can also be your worst enemy, right? I learned that in carpentry, talking about that circular saw. Now, that saw can jump back and cut you. Your tools can harm you if they're not properly used. So that's why it was very important for us to get the meaning of the message. The meaning, in order to get the proper meaning, you must understand the words that's being used. And we saw there, okay, several things. He didn't explain to her the safety and the danger. I don't know if he even understood. He did, because he stopped her before she fired the trigger. He didn't tell. She see how her fingers on the trigger. That's another thing that you must never do until you're actually ready to pull the trigger. Keep your finger off the trigger, because subconsciously, you not really thinking about your movement. She could have. I've seen it happen so many times that people have a gun in their hand and they turn around and point the gun at everybody they talking to. Because in their mind, I'm not going to shoot this person. But if you startle, your finger squeeze that trigger, you shoot everybody in the room. We've seen that happen. When you squeeze the trigger, sometimes you can't let it go. It's almost like electric current. But the main point I'm trying to get to here is that we use words and we think it's all right to use words that we don't understand. And what that does is clog up the message. It distorts the message. And that's what has happened to us through Christianity. These people gave us a book. We read the book, and the message that the book is giving us, the Bible, they gave us, they returned the Bible back to us. When I say gave us the book, because the book is ours. They took the book, studied the book, and said we can lead these people down the wrong road and give them the book, give them their book, which will help us lead them down the wrong road, because they can't read, they can't spell. Here's the thing. In order to give a message out through language, you have to, first of all, you have to be able to spell. And to do that, you have to be able to understand phonics. You have to understand phonics in order to spell out a word that will then give you a picture, begin to give you a picture in your brain of a message. Just use, for example, the word cat. We understand what a cat is. Now, if we were going to put it on paper, a message on paper using the cat and the dog ran away. You have to understand every word in that message. So, because the words translate the message off the paper from another person's mind onto the paper, and from the paper into your mind. Now, if you don't understand the words symbols, because we use pictures and drawings too, right? If you don't understand the symbol a message is in, the cat has symbols, digits, dots, and tittles. The word cat, in order to get that picture, that message of the cat in your mind and the dog, you have to use the right messaging and the right symbols. And you have to use a symbol that people understand, right? So when I say CAT, and if you understand the symbols, that's spelling out the word cat, which is a message that then you picture in your brain, right? That's how the brain works. That's how it's designed. The cat and the dog. So if you understand those words and those symbols used, then you realize it's talking about a cat and a dog. Ran, you have to understand what ran means. You can't go any further. Every word in the message is important, just like we just saw. Every word in the message is very important in order for you to get the picture. You get the picture? Right? In order to get the picture, the message is in the picture, right? So you have to use the right symbols to draw a right picture on paper and to transfer that picture into your mind so you can understand the message that the person was trying to convey to you through writing. That's how this works. Communications through symbols work. And so she realized she didn't understand it, but she was in a dangerous situation. And she was also, she couldn't hear. They were talking to her. She had the earmuffs on, right? And the same way happens when we try to change the message of Christianity back into the message that God intended for us to get using the Bible and his prophets that wrote down symbols that contain messages. And the thing of it is, with Christianity, they try to tell you to read only take the message from the back of the book. Clearly, you will not get the proper message because you didn't read, you don't have the symbols or the messaging, you don't have the picture from the front of the book. Right? The message starts in the front of the Bible. Right? The front of the Bible is conveying a message to you that is a continual logic, a line of logic, linear line of logic. The continual thought of God and the plan of God starts at the beginning of the book. If you don't understand the beginning of the message, you can't jump in halfway through the message and understand the conclusion of the message, right? And that's what Christianity has done. Until we learn that, we're going to be just like this woman here. You'll be just like this woman here, realizing that you don't understand. You got a dangerous weapon in your hand and you don't understand how to use it. That's the message that I'm trying to teach using this. You can have the Bible is a dangerous weapon in your hand. It's a sword, right? And it's a dangerous weapon in your hand if you don't know how to use it. It's a two-edged sword, cutting to and fro. You swing it and you swing it down and swing it too far and don't have control of it, then you could cut your own leg off. You could cut your own self up with this sword. It can be detrimental to you and the people around you, the Bible can. And they knew that. The colonizers and the devils, the deceivers on the earth, knew that with the Bible in your hand, not properly understood by you, can cause you to, not even understand what, the message that the Most High is sending, which would cause you to lose your identity, would cause you to break the covenant of the Most High, that the Most High made between your forefathers and Him. They swore to keep, and they swore the curses on all of their descendants. If we don't keep the curses sworn by our forefathers on all our descendants, on all of us until the end of time. And thank God for the Most High. What the devil meant for evil, God meant it for good, right? So He had to step in after we were destroyed. The prophecy had to go forth. The price had to be paid. And afterwards, He stepped in with His Son, Yahushua, we will call Jesus Christ. And He made Him the sacrifice, the scapegoat for us. In other words, He paid the death part of the penalty, right? But He paid the death part, right? In due time, due season. If Yahushua had not have sacrificed His life, gave His life, then all humanity would have had to be destroyed, right? Because we all came from Adam. And the sin was with Adam and Eve on humanity. The sin on humanity was with Adam and Eve. I'm sure a lot of our Israelite camps, they don't really understand that. They teach it, but they don't understand that the sin of humanity was on Adam and Eve. And so all humanity was redeemed through Christ and His sacrifice on the cross. Was redeemed temporarily. A stay of execution was given to all humanity for what Christ done. And the colonizers, they understand that. And so that's why they said we can step in right here and graft ourselves in. And, because the Bible actually teaches recovery to the Israelites. Because why does Most High and Christ specify recovery only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel? Because the other nations, they are going to lose their status in heaven, in our heaven. They are in their heavens now. They all have had an opportunity to rule over us and to have us in their captivity. They had their heaven on earth. So we are the only nation who has not had our heaven on earth, right? The Israelites. So therefore, I'm going to end this. Therefore, the Most High in Christ was instructed by the Most High. He was sent by the Most High to redeem the lost sheep of Israel, because they never were asleep. They all had their opportunity, and they had their curses too. After they ruled and had their opportunity to be the ruling nation on the earth, then the curses came, because we know the Bible told them, the Most High told them, If you curse Israel, if you bless Israel, you'll be blessed. If you curse Israel, you'll be cursed. So after their opportunity to live in their own heavens and putting the Israelites under their feet, that's the route they went. They cursed Israel, right? Then their curse was placed on them, and the nation that in Daniel's statue, the nation that came after them, put them in captivity. Talked about indigenous. That's how the indigenous people end up all under the rulership of the Edomites, Idumea. And if any nation is in power now, right now, they are Edomites. They are of the bloodline of Edom. Because the indigenous people, every one of those nations had a chance to rule over us first. And they cursed us and they ruled over us with a perpetual hate. And they sold us. And eventually it was Edom's turn. Esau is the end of the world, right? When you see his rule, when he go into rule and start coming out, that's the Most High delivering us from the last rulers, the Edomites. And they were successful to hold us into captivity longer than all the nations by this thing here, distorting the message of the book, right? The earlier kingdoms, they commanded that we did not keep our customs. We did not follow the governing of the Most High. We knew the laws. That's how they kept us down. They made us assimilate through, they forced us to assimilate into their cultures and to give up our cultures and our identity through the threat of harm. The Edomites did that too in the Greek captivity, the Maccabees. And they also did that at the beginning of America, where they reclassified us and ignored our request that we return to our culture right here in America. They ignored it and made other laws, Jim Crow laws, and to hold us in captivity. And they distorted the message of the book after we were released from the chains. They distorted the message and sit in our churches and made sure that the preacher, that our leaders were under the threat of violence if they taught us the correct message that the Spirit was giving them when they read the book. When you read the book, it gives you the correct message. What they do is they don't teach that correct message. And what messed us up and why this woman was in the condition she picked that weapon up without understanding. And then she thought about it. How can this weapon harm me? She heard the word kickback. It ain't going to blow back, is it? She thought about it, and then she began to fear. But as she was in the state of fear, she has her hand on the trigger. She's talking and not listening while they're trying to tell her, stop, just stop and stop right now. Lay the weapon down. She don't want to give it up. She don't want to lay it down. The same with Christianity. You don't want to give up. When you get in this state, our human minds say, I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to admit that I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know, right? Because it's going to make me look bad. That's the ego kicking in. You're worried about what the world's going to think of you instead of your own safety. We see that happening a lot now. As we read the message of the Bible, the true message, are people saying, I'm going to hold on to this because I'm going to look bad if I've been following the wrong the wrong message of the Bible. That's going to prove several things. I didn't really read the Bible for myself. I didn't do word definition studies so I could understand the complete message. I started reading in the middle of the book, and I didn't understand what I was reading, but I kept on going and kept faking at it like I understood it. And when instead of me going back and taking the time and do my word searches and my studying, you must understand what you just read before you can understand what you're about to read. That's one of the main rules you must keep. You must realize that. I know I don't understand this message because I didn't understand the words that I read. I know it don't make sense. The message don't make sense. Blowback. Well, it ain't gonna blow back, is it? And then she said, well, what is blowback? You know, she realized she didn't even understand the words she was using herself. And that's the same way with reading the message of the Bible. We will not get the picture. We won't understand it. It'll look like it's scribble and it keep contradicting itself. So all praises to the Most High. We want to just use that to show that we must understand what we read, what we just read, before we can move forward to what we're about to read when it comes to understanding and getting the picture that the Most High is communicating to us, how to live safely and how to use the Bible as a weapon and a tool that will help us to live safe on the earth among enemies, right? And we can harm ourselves if we use the Bible and its message. If we use it improperly, we can harm ourselves and others around us. And that's what they did. They taught us how to use the Bible the wrong way, knowing we would be confused and we wouldn't understand the message that will get us back in fellowship with the Most High. We will stay in a dead state, a state of dead, the congregation of the dead. He who turns his ear from hearing the words of the law will abide in the congregation of the dead. That's a scripture. I paraphrase it. So if you're not hearing the law, which is the words of God, right? The law is the words of God. And if you read the Bible, you'll understand it from the front to the back that it's just being repeated over and over. Each time a new captivity came upon us, we were transferred into the hands of a new nation. Our captors fell, and then we were free for a second. Sometimes we wasn't even free because we were Hellenized and we lost our identity in that captivity. But the prophets were sent out to reteach the laws of God and to wake us up to our identity. This happened over and over through 7, 8 captivities. We're in the last one now, and that's what's happening now. This kingdom is about to be transferred into the kingdom of the Most High. So he's waking us up through the prophets and his law being read to us so we could identify ourselves and come back to the covenant that our ancestors made for us with the Most High God. All praises to the Most High.